Hi, Alan Bradbury here, or Chock if you know me from the Avsim forums, and this is the video preview to accompany the Avsim.com review of UK2000's Liverpool John Lennon Extreme scenery for FSX. I've got the Payware Nemeth MD500 here, and I'm going to give you a little tour of the airport scenery in this thing. We're currently in the hangar for the Liverpool Flying School, which is based at the airport. That's that thing there. So let's get in the air and do a little tour. You can see there's a little aeroplane taxiing out there. So first I've got to get this out of the hangar without crashing. So let's see if I can manage that without hitting the roof. So there we go, we're outside, and what we are over at the moment is the general aviation and business aviation area where the flying school is located. If I swing it around, you'll be able to see the hangars for those. So you can see the business aviation centre there, which is that blue hangar, and where we just lifted off from is that thing there, the Liverpool Flying School. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly us down here so we can look at the main airport area. But I'll take us down the outside of it first. So we're going to head down this road here. This is Dane Road, and I think its name changes to Dunlop Road when you get a little bit closer to the airport. Passing on the left there is the TNT parcel service. And you can see that on the 3D modelling, they've actually modelled the car park with 3D cars over the photorealistic terrain, which is the sort of thing you can get away with on a scenery of this size, because Liverpool John Lennon Airport is not very large. And coming up on the left-hand side, this tall building here, that's the Hampton Hotel. That's a 3-star hotel. If you fancy staying at a 3-star hotel that's near Liverpool John Lennon Airport, that one will do you. Carrying on along this, I think this is where it's the road's name changes to Dunlop Road. I could be wrong on that though. And you can see that if we swing it left there, you can see the advertising hoardings on the approach road to the main terminal building. So I'll swing it round here so we can have a look at that, and you can see that that's quite detailed with relevant advertising on the hoardings and stuff like that. It's not made up stuff, these are proper adverts. So there's adverts for Ryanair and tours around Liverpool Football Club's ground and all this sort of thing. And as we approach this roundabout, and I swing it around, you can see that the approach is quite nicely done for this. You've got all kinds of little details that you would find at the real Liverpool John Lennon Airport. For example, there's the model of the yellow submarine that was built for the Liverpool Garden Festival and then moved here after the Garden Festival finished. And then on the right hand side here is the terminal building that was built in 1986, and you can see on the front of it there it says Liverpool John Lennon Airport, obviously the airport named after a famous son of Liverpool, John Lennon, of the Beatles fame. And then as we swing around here, you can see the control tower for ground movements that's in front of the smaller of the two apron areas. You can see one of my AI aircraft there, a Thomson Boeing 757. We just passed over the fire service department there. You can just see that if I swing the nose around there. And you can see an EasyJet A320 parked up on the apron there. But this is the smaller of the two main aprons. If I come around the other side of this terminal building here, you can see the larger apron area where most of the operations take place. And so I'll swing it around there and give us a look. You see a little open hangar there, and there you go. Not the most aesthetically beautiful airport in the world, it has to be said, but it's functional, it does its job, and as I say, most of the traffic that Liverpool John Lennon attracts is low budget airlines, so consequently lots of 737s and A320s of EasyJet and Ryanair. But you get some unusual visitors to Liverpool John Lennon Airport. For example, you can see a couple of British Aerospace Hawk trainers there in the black scheme that they paint their training aircraft now. And it's not inconceivable that they could be on the apron at Liverpool John Lennon, because obviously the airport is very close to Wales, and there are a lot of RAF airfields in Wales where aircrews train. So you could certainly see British Aerospace Hawks at this airport. If I swing this over the ancillary buildings and porter cabins up the west end of the airport, you can see the fuel dump area there. And then if I swing it round past the fuel dump area, you can see where the fire crews practice. There's a mock-up of an airliner that they occasionally set fire to, so they can practice shooting foam at it and stuff like that. This is one of the old taxiways that lead to the old location of Liverpool Airport, which is over on the other side of these trees, because the new terminal building was built in 1986, and they built a new runway, and the old Liverpool Airport, which is Speke Airport, we're just passing over Speke Hall there, which dates from 1560. You can visit that if you find yourself around Liverpool. It's one of the best preserved Elizabethan buildings in the UK. So what we're over here, this isn't actually part of the UK2000 scenery, but I'm just showing this. This is on my Just Flight photorealistic VFR terrain. This is the location of the old Liverpool Airport when it was referred to as Speke Airport. Most of this is an industrial area, but some of these taxiways are still in existence. And what is definitely in existence is this thing here. This is the old apron area for Speke Airport, and you can just about make out on the photorealistic terrain that there's a slightly crescent-shaped building there, which isn't actually modelled, but that is the location of the old 1930s terminal for Liverpool Speke Airport. That's actually preserved now. It's a Grade 2 listed building. It's a Crown Plaza hotel now. But of more interest to aviation buffs is the fact that on the apron area in front of that, there are several preserved aircraft. There's one of the prototypes of the British Aerospace J41 Jetstream, and there's a Bristol Britannia, and in front of the building in the centre of a roundabout, there's a replica of a de Havilland Dragon Rapide. So another place worth having a look if you find yourself out near Liverpool. Now we're coming out over the River Mersey here, more or less about sort of 3 miles behind us. Would be Liverpool city centre, but we're concentrating on the scenery for Liverpool John Lennon. So what you can see here is built out on this gantry that actually goes into the Mersey are the approach lights for runway 9, and you can see that the shadows on the photorealistic terrain here are matching up pretty well with the positioning of the 3D modelling, so you can tell that this airport is very accurately placed. And there you are, you can see runway 9, and you can see that it isn't a massive runway. About the biggest aircraft you could get down on there excuse me, is a Boeing 767, which is why you tend to see 737s and A320s and 757s and nothing very much bigger than that, although they are considering extending the runway at Liverpool so that they can attract larger aircraft. The reason I'm taking you over this part here is what we can see in front of us here is the control tower. This is the main control tower for aircraft movements at Liverpool John Lennon, and you wouldn't normally get very close to this because you can see that all the taxiways and aprons are actually on the other side of the runway, and you can only really get to this down a little access road. But I'll give you a look at it because you can see that this is quite nicely modelled. You've got textures to make it look like there's people in there and the car park and all that kind of stuff. So that's quite nice. Now carrying on down here towards the east, if you flew about 24 miles in this direction to where the sun is rising, you'd get to my house, in fact, at Stockport, so you could pop in for a coffee or a cup of tea if you're feeling terribly English. But more importantly, where Liverpool John Lennon Airport is concerned is about 24 miles in that direction is Manchester International Airport, which is a vastly better equipped airport than Liverpool John Lennon, and that's why you tend to find A320s and 737s of budget airlines operating from here, because the landing fees are cheaper. So that was fairly instrumental in the success of John Lennon Airport. It was kind of meandering along a little bit in the 80s, but the advent of a lot of low-budget airlines in the mid-90s breathed a new lease of life into it, and it's actually an airport that's doing very well now. Passing below the nose now, where you can see these cars parked, is an area well known to plane spotters in the Liverpool area. This is called the Mound, and if you ever see any photographs of aircraft landing on runway 27, which I'll just swing the nose round, you can pretty much guarantee that they will have been photographed from this area here. Now you can see the approach lights here for runway 27 out on this undeveloped land here, and this is where they are considering extending the runway 27 out over here, because for probably about a third of a mile. There aren't any houses or anything like that. There are a couple here, and you can see that the runway lights extend beyond where those houses are that you can see on the photorealistic terrain. So that's one of the things that that Peel Holdings, that own Liverpool John Lennon Airport now, are considering doing to attract larger aircraft. Now then, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take us up a little bit higher so that we can see how this blends into the terrain. So if I give us a little bit of altitude here, the area that we're passing over here, where you can see these houses on the photorealistic terrain, this is actually the Speak area of Liverpool. And Speak, named after where Speak Hall is, which we flew over before. And if you're the kind of person that likes trivia, if you want to know why it's called Speak, that's Speak spelled S-P-E-K-E, it's from the Old English term for brushwork, which was Speak spelled S-P-E-C, I think. So there you go, you learn something new every day. So as we swing it around here, you can see that this blends quite well with the photorealistic terrain. This, as I say, is the Just Flight terrain, which has been accused of being a little bit on the washed out side colour-wise. But I kind of like that, because I think it sort of simulates the inversion layer that you get over the UK, which tends to dull colours down a little bit. But if you have the horizon scenery, which is a little bit more vivid colour-wise, you can see that there's enough green in the modelling of the this airport scenery that it wouldn't stick out like a sore thumb. I'm not so sure it would blend in quite so well with the default terrain, but as you can see, it's doing a reasonable job of blending in with the photorealistic terrain. So what I'll do now is I will finish the tour by bringing us in for a landing at the general aviation bit that we took off from. You can see that the taxiways and all that kind of stuff are quite nicely modelled, and all the details on there. And there's some nice little touches on this scenery. For example, the windsocks on the airfield work, so you can use those realistically. I'm going to have a look at one of those to make sure that there aren't any extreme winds as I come in for landing. You can see on the nose there the little orange and yellow thing, and it looks like we haven't really got a lot of wind, maybe a little bit. I'm probably landing into the wind here. So I'll swing this thing around and come in for a landing on the general aviation area, and that will be completing our tour of Liverpool John Lennon, which, as I say, general aviation, business aviation and commercial aviation, so good choice for FSX users, because it means that, you know, unless you're talking 747s and A380s, pretty much any aircraft that you've got for FSX, you are going to be able to realistically fly it from this scenery. So there you go, good choice. Be sure to check out the main review that will be on avsim.com. But there you go, Liverpool John Lennon Airport, UK 2000 scenery.